So we have our basic object here, which is a pet object. And here I've created a cat and I've created a guinea pig, and they have a constructor, an initialization routine that basically will populate some variables. These are all called methods, by the way. So and a method is basically a program inside of an object. So anyway, or function, well, program function, whatever. Anyway, it's something that the object does versus remember. I have changed the code since the last lecture. The underscores typically mean it's private, meaning you shouldn't be accessing these things directly. So that's why there's an underscore there. There's some basic accessor methods, and then there's sort of a print method override that's happening there. So lines 1 through 21 are the class. I've created the blueprint. And then Oreo is using that blueprint to construct itself, and then Starbuck is using that blueprint to construct itself. And then this print kind of just basically shows showing off that. Now, showing off the printing override. So here's the thing. Cats and guinea pigs make different noises when they're asking for food. A cat will go meow. A guinea pig will go weep. By the way, if you're thinking of getting guinea pigs for your kids, please remember that they definitely make noise. All right, so how could we incorporate that here? We could, in theory, have some code here saying, if you're a cat, go meow. If you're a guinea pig, go weep. That would suck because there's no reason for that. What we could do instead is create a guinea pig object that looks almost exactly like this, but actually has a method in there called ask for food that goes weep. And we could create a cat object, which looks exactly like this, but when it says ask for food, it would basically say meow. We could do that, or we could go to the next level of object-oriented programming and deal with inheritance, where we create a class that inherits everything from its parent class, or real word is super. So let's just go ahead and think, well, what does a cat want to do that's different? Well, a cat, I'm going to create a cat object. Now the cat is going to need the initialization routine, which is going to be the same thing. It's going to be self. The cat, I probably don't actually, to be honest, need the type anymore, but I'm going to keep it in there for now. And I'm just going to basically say, I begging sound is what that is. I begging sound. And what I'm going to say here, what I'm going to say is that the I would like it to do the pet constructor first, right? This is what the pet constructor is. I'd like it to do the pet constructor first. Well, in order for it to know what the pet constructor is, I have to say, when you're defining class, class extends the pet. Now, some of this language, by the way, you can get a lot easier probably from looking at the W3 Schools inheritance. So definitely have a look at that, all right? But anyway, so cat extends pet. Now that I know a cat extends pet, it knows how to do everything a pet can do. And what a pet can do is a pet does, it does that init. So it's going to call the pet init, which has the same same argument list as this. So it's going to basically call in the pet init. That's what it's going to do. All right, that's awesome. But now what do we do with this begging? Well, what I'm going to say is, hey, the begging noise, oh, yeah, the begging noise of one of these things, keeping it private, is whatever the person passes in. I don't need to pass in the set name because a pet knows how to set the name. I don't need to do the set type. I don't need to do any of these guys because it knows how to do all the accessor methods will be the same. I might want to add a new one for the begging. So I might want to say, for example, def set begging, and then whatever the variable is. So, and here I'm going to basically go self I begging. hold on. Actually, by the way, I begging is not right. It should be P begging. It's the pet begging variable. So I'll set pet begging is assigned whatever the person passes in. Okay, we could do that. All right. But that's the only thing that's kind of unique to this. And then get begging would be again similar. I'll tell you what. Why lose it? Let's just go out here and do that. So let's go do this. And some of you sharp eyes might have noticed that I forgot to put self in here. So self is going to get passed in. And then here the get pegging or get self. What in the world happened there? Did I just copy too much? Because I wanted that. And now I'm looking over here, and I think, yeah, I see what's going on. All right, perfect. Yeah, nice try. All right, so let's do that. And so this is going to be get begging, which realistically is just going to be that, and it's going to say bring in this guy. Okay. So a cat can do whatever a pet can do, as well as begging. I've got two methods that are unique to just the cat only. And then when it comes to how to print itself out, what I want to do is I want to have the string, and the string is going to basically return the super, which is basically the pet, the super, let's put some space there, the super dot string function. So the super string function, which is this guy. So it's going to be calling in the super, and then concatenated to that. Concatenated to that would be, and I sound like whatever, the begging. So I should have probably kept with the begging thing. But anyway, well, that was interesting. That's a piece of code there we don't need. And I want basically that. Okay, so that's what the string is going to be. So now let's get Starbuck out of there for a second. We don't need to talk about Starbuck anymore. We don't need to do this anymore. But here's Oreo. Oreo is a pet with Oreo and cat. All right. Now, by the way, that probably does mean we need to actually have the pet class in here. So let's get the, I don't know how much memory these guys share, these two sessions. So what I'm going to do here is I've got the pet, I've got the class that extends the pet, and here's Oreo that's just basically a pet. So in theory, none of this class will get used. Let's run it to make sure I got an infinite loop or the code's too long. Well, that's bogus. Let's strip out this and see whether I can get away without having that. Okay, so it looks like you can get away without doing that, and it worked just great. Worked like a charm, right? But notice right there, class, the cat class extends the pet, and it's able now to handle this whole idea of begging. So let's go ahead and put the begging sound in. So the begging sound is going to be a meow. Now this won't work, and this is one of those rare times I know it won't work, because when I go visualize the execution and I try to go to the end, it says, whoa, man, you got 3 arguments. We're expecting 3, but you're giving 4. And that's because up here in the constructor for pet, it's expecting 3, and it's actually got 4. Remember, it passes itself in as well. Well, what I should have done is instead of going pet, I should have said that this will use the cat constructor. So first of all, let's visualize it and get rid of my shame and go next. And so that thing worked like a charm. So what happened here? Let's just, actually, you know what? This actually would be good to go through. So the pet class is created. The cat class is created as an extension of pet. So it knows that it can do all this stuff, and here's some overrides. It's overriding whatever the init and the list are. And so then we go to Oreo. Where does Oreo go first? Oreo, the instance, first runs up to cat. Cat runs up to pet. It does all the stuff that the pet initializer is supposed to do. It comes down, does a little bit of extra loving with a meow, and then it comes out. right? So I hope you kind of got a sense as to sort of this thing kind of goes in. It's a nested idea. Now, wondering again, if you don't mind, what I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify this to basically just the names. The type's kind of stupid anyway, so let's get rid of the type just to keep my code length to something that the visualizer can handle. So let's imagine now I've got the initializer that overrode the initializer. So the cat will do something different. The string will do something different. But there can actually be some like legit other differences in your classes. Like I can have, for example, cat, a pet. I'll go make noise. This won't take any parameters at all. What it will do is it'll just do a print, noise. Okay, so it'll do a print noise. However, in the cat, I'm going to overwrite it. So I'm going to go cat make noise. And this guy is going to go print meow. And so Oreo, after Oreo gets created, Oreo is going to make noise. All right, let's run this guy and see how good my syntax is. And it's not good because it takes 0, but 1 was given. I got to put self in there, I think. So let's go back up to here and go self. Let's close and go. All right. So we go back up in time a little bit. So here we go. Oreo. All right. So at this point, we're at the we're in the print. That's what's going on. Okay. So let's get out of that, and I want to just get to that line above the print. Kind of hard now because I see. Well, it's going to be hard to describe. So rather than just clicking and whatever, here's Oreo. What's Oreo? Oreo is a class, a cat class. So it goes up to the cat class. It says, well, if you're going to go to the cat class, that extends the pet, and up here is the pet. So we've sort of changed the way it makes a noise. Now I think I'm going to try, within the context of this code template thing, I'm going to try to make myself a guinea pig. Guinea pig, I'm going to keep the begging the same, to be honest. You could argue at this point that this processing should be at the top, but the make noise is going to be weep. This is what it's going to be, weep. Okay. Let's see if this even runs. Okay, so it does run. That's good. Then let's go ahead and create our two little guys. So here's Oreo. Starbuck is assigned a guinea pig, which is going to get the name of Starbuck, guinea pig, whatever, and then weep. And then I would like Starbuck to make a noise. Cross my fingers. Good deal. So the class pet, the cat class is created. The guinea pig class is created. These are all blueprints that are basically meant to let us know how to create particular objects if we feed it in the pet blueprint, the cat blueprint, or the guinea pig blueprint. The Oreo object, or identifier really is there. It's going to be assigned cat. So it goes, okay, I'm going to go to the cat blueprint, which extends the pet blueprint. So off it goes into the cat. The cat's using its constructor, goes and says, okay, I need to have the pet constructor. So it goes up to the pet constructor, does a few of these sets. Then it grabs that extra thing for begging, and then it flies out. All right, so now we got Oreo is created. Oreo knows that apparently if it's going to make a noise, it's going to be begging, and then the rest of the stuff. So now Oreo makes noise. That's only going to go to the cat blueprint because this is the one that is part of cat. So it knows it's going to say meow, and it's going to go off, and I'm assuming any second meow is going to show up, right there, which is awesome. All right, then we go to Starbuck. Starbuck is going to be another instance right there, another instance of the GP class. We continue down, and I won't bother showing what the code is, but there it is. And so now for this guy's got weep, and as we go next, make noise. Weep's going to show up at the top, and off we go. And I just did the print. I don't think I did anything beyond the print, so I'm not going to bother finishing it. But that's a nice image right there. So, all right. So where's this stuff kind of used? A fairly decent academic example is the idea of a person. You could create a person template. If your business is using a, if it's going to deal with people, people have some fairly common attributes. We usually have names, we usually have addresses, we even might have date of births. Then let's imagine that you want to have a student object and you want to have an instructor object. Fairly common idea. So what you do then is that you'd have a person defined. You would then have a student, which extends person. What do students have that people typically don't? GPAs, schedules. I've got some very simple scalar variables, by the way, the whole time in here. But I want you to imagine that you could have passed in lists, dictionaries, tuples, other objects. You could have a list of objects. There's a whole bunch of complexity here that we could have done that we just didn't do. And then the instructor. What does instructor have? Well, instructors might have, they probably need to have a social security code, number, I should say. They probably would need to have, I don't know, payroll information, whatever, right? So faculty too would be another one. So an instructor and a student would both extend the person class. Now, the next place we're likely going to be going is into the GUI world. And that's where you kind of see, GUI being graphical user interface, by the way. That's where you kind of see this stuff being used, but more. But object-oriented programming, it's kind of an interesting little journey, and feel free to sort of, take that for yourself. So if I had to leave a piece of code here, what I'd probably do is we got rid of the types. Yeah. Tell you what, let's do this. This gets them both on the same page. Okay. Yeah, so that's our first one. That's our second one. All right. Anyway, just to get this kind of a little bit tighter, I'm going to remove some of my lines. All right, so that you can kind of, again, see it on the same page. Obviously, just like the functions, indenting is important. So I'll keep the space there, get rid of 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 the space there. And let's do Oreo and then concatenated with a new line, concatenated with Starbuck. All right, so that I think would be a good program for you guys to have a closer look at. It deals with the inheritance. Oh, a couple quick things again. So the cat extends pet, initialize the constructor. It's going to use the pet constructor and then do its own thing. The guinea pig extends pet. It's going to use the guinea pig constructor and then do its own thing. Now guinea pig and the cat both know how to do these, including make noise, but make noise gets overridden here for cat for something special. Make noise gets overridden there for guinea pig for something special. The string constructor, not constructor, but the string override is going to be different too. The string override here is going to go to the super class pet. The super class is this one. So it's going to go to the super class and do whatever that string does. So it goes up to here, creates a string, returns that string. That string ends up being substituted right there, and then we get some extra special processing. Same deal with this guy. All right. With that overview, have fun, and on to the next one.